Welcome to Bananaomics. In this video, we'll explore the concept of elasticity of demand. Elasticity is defined as the measure of responsiveness or sensitivity of one variable to a change in another. The concept of price elasticity of demand refers to the responsiveness of quantity demanded to a change in price. The level of responsiveness determines whether a good or service is considered to have inelastic or elastic qualities. Price inelastic goods are goods that are typically insensitive to a change in price, resulting in a lower proportional change in quantity demanded. When defining price inelastic demand, be sure to include the word proportionally, as that's a key component of the definition. Inelastic goods tend to have a few defining characteristics in common. These goods typically have no close available substitutes, have a high degree of necessity with a low cost relative to portion of income, have addictive properties, and are time-sensitive. Later in this video, we will talk about the elasticity coefficient, but for now, you need to know that goods with an elasticity coefficient of less than 1 are considered to be inelastic in nature. An example of an inelastic good is gasoline or insulin. Price-elastic goods are goods that are sensitive or responsive to changes in price, meaning that the quantity demanded changes greater proportionally to the change in price. An example of an elastic good is a pack of bubble gum or a car. Some characteristics of elastic goods are that they tend to have many available substitutes, are considered to be luxury goods and cost a large portion of income, are non-addictive and not time-sensitive, and have an elasticity coefficient greater than 1. An economist cannot determine whether or not a good is inelastic or elastic solely based on characteristics. The price elasticity of demand must be quantifiable and measured by using the PED formula. Before we learn the formula for PED, we need to understand how to calculate percentage change. To calculate the percentage of change, we will need to subtract our new price or quantity from our old price or quantity and divide by our old number, and then multiply by 100. Remember to note whether the percentage is a positive or negative result. Pause the video and try out these practice problems for percentage change. Now that you've finished the practice problems, check your answers with these correct ones. Now that you understand how to calculate percentage change, we can move on to the formula to calculate the price elasticity of demand. The PED formula is the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in price. Be careful not to get these two confused. The simple way to remember is that quantity always belongs on top while price on the bottom. Let's attempt a practice problem using train tickets. Assume that the price of train tickets declined by 10% and, as a result, the quantity demanded of train tickets increased by 15%. What is the PED? Is it inelastic or elastic? Pause the video and try it out. With our calculations, you should have gotten a final PED of -1.5. Notice that the PED will always be negative due to the law of demand stating the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. As a result, when calculating the PED, we typically use the absolute value making the -1.5 PED value positive. A PED value greater than 1 indicates that this good is elastic in nature, meaning that the quantity demanded will proportionally change more than the price. Here is a table to simplify your categorization of PED coefficients. As already stated, if PED is greater than 1, it is considered to be relatively elastic, and if PED is less than 1, it's relatively inelastic. If the PED is exactly 1, it is considered to be unitary elastic, meaning that each change in price leads to an exact same change proportionally in quantity demanded. In rarer cases, a PED value can be infinite, meaning perfectly elastic demand, or 0, indicating a perfectly inelastic good. These cases are rare in the real world. Most of our real-world examples will have relatively price-elastic or price-inelastic demand. When drawing our demand curves, it's very important to draw it in alignment with the good's elasticity. If a good has price-inelastic demand, the demand curve will be more vertical and illustrate that a change in price will result in a lower proportional change in quantity demanded. On the other hand, if a good has price-elastic demand, the curve will be flatter and illustrate that a change in price will lead to a greater proportional change in quantity demanded. Continuing with this line of reasoning, a perfectly inelastic curve will be perfectly vertical, illustrating no change in QD in relation with price, while a perfectly elastic demand curve will be perfectly horizontal. The last discussion point in this video is about an alternative method to determine the price elasticity of demand. The total revenue test is an alternative measure to determine whether or not a good has price inelastic or elastic demand. The total revenue is calculated by multiplying the price and quantity together. The total revenue test skips the focus on quantity demanded and rather focuses on the relationship between price and total revenue. For example, if the price of insulin, which is a life-saving medicine, were to increase significantly, what do you think would happen to the firm's total revenue? The total revenue would most likely increase significantly due to the fact that the quantity demanded would not change very much, indicating that the good is price inelastic in nature. This test also works for price elastic demand. If the price increases for a good and the total revenue decreases, you can assume the good is price elastic. I hope this video was able to help you understand PED. Follow us on YouTube to see more economics videos like this.